what's left of what's right.
New York, New York. All the Empire State politics you need to know in a few New York minutes. And representing the left, if you will, Richard Brodsky, former Assemblyman, senior fellow at Demos, and professor at NYU. And representing the right of the Republicans is John Cahill, former chief of staff to Governor Pataki. Albany corruption scandal here. Every day, except maybe today here, there's a new name that gets added here if the day is young. But the point is, I've heard two different opinions on John, which is some say, you know what, good. This will drain the swamp here. This is a good thing for Albany. And others say, are you kidding me? The opinion of this capital district is so low right now, we can't afford this level of beating. Where do you fall? It
can only be a positive thing if positive steps are taken to reinsure the public trust. And frankly, Richard won't want to hear this, but this is a legislative issue, okay? 32 members of the state legislature in the last 10 years have been arrested, indicted. 32, okay? Excuse me. All right? That says something that the legislature has not been able to police themselves when it comes to corruption. They are held accountable only onto themselves. There's no independent outside source reviewing their activities, their outside activities. As I said before, they're not subject to FOIL. There's no transparency in how the legislature works.
There's no transparency in the way the governor works.
Yes, there is. Unless the legislature takes it upon itself to change how it operates, they won't get back to public trust.
I'm not going to defend the indefensible. These indictments, by identifying and if they're convicted, convicting criminals is a good thing. There's no tolerance for this stuff. The notion that there's somehow an institutional basis for this, 25% of the last governors of the state of New York have gone out in disgrace.
But there's one thing not a permanent guy being on the tape.
50% of the controllers. If you want to use statistics, you want to use you had your shot. Hold on.
Go ahead.
If you want to use statistics, that's what it says. This is a problem that should not be used to weaken one branch of the government. We should deal with it. We should clean it out.
But here's my question.
Make sure people
here's my question. Right now, no one's going to debate the person driving this is a U.S. attorney.
Right.
And in a lot of people's eyes, that's an indictment on Albany in a different way, in two things. One is the governor says this week, you know what, if the legislature doesn't do something about it, I am going to institute an ethics probe.
Give the power to investigate to the Attorney General. I've said that in 2010, if anybody was listening.
Yes.
It's a good idea, and it will enable law enforcement on the state level to do.
But I already hear the Albany DA saying he can't do anything about it. I hear the governor saying, you better do something about it, Albany. Whose job is it to police it?
There is no one's job. And right now, it's the job of the legislative leaders to patrol, if you would, their members. And you know what? What's unfortunate about this, Richard, is that every member of the legislature gets tarnished by what's been happening. Good people like Richard, yourself, and people are really in politics for the right reason.
That
everybody's being tarnished,
is
and the leadership continues to do nothing.
It's not up to leadership to indict people criminally. There's got to be real law enforcement.
Oh, Richard, look at the case with the AG. Look at the case with Lopez as a speaker.
Just one second. Here's my question. Shelley Silver says yesterday, we've got the laws in the books to do this.
We do.
Then why aren't we doing something about it?
We are. These guys are getting indicted.
But that's the U.S. attorney who's doing it.
The problems in ethics in Albany are legal.
Richard,
they are campaign finance.
Why is the system set up to allow this corruption to happen in the first place? We shouldn't have the U.S. attorney having to live in Albany to weed out corruption.
We shouldn't have it. The system is not set up that way. Deal with the legal corruption, John. The thing that the big money guys that you know so well foster. Campaign finance reform.
This is not about campaign finance, Richard. It's much deeper than that. It's the interworkings of the legislative process.
I heard the bell.
Their outside income, their lack of transparency.
I'm going to pull them off now. All right. This was good. I love the debate here, and there was certainly a lot of it. We will have this segment, as always, back next week, same time, same bat channel.